Okay, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to bring in Camcorder to Final Cut Pro. Step one, I'm looking down here. There's my Final Cut Pro icon. It is right there. If I take the cursor and put it over it, it'll say Final Cut Pro. If it's not on the dock as you were trained in Mac OS, you can come up here to the main menu. I'm going to click once on the desktop, Finder, and it says Go. Down to Go says Applications. Then all you have to do is do not select Final Cut Pro, but you go click, hold, drag, and you bring it down to the dock. It'll separate, and then you drop it on. I'm not going to because I already have it, but then you never have to go back here looking for it. It's always there. Once it's on, I'm going to come down here. I'm going to click on Final Cut Pro. Final Cut Pro is going to pop up. Now this is the first time it's going to be opened on this machine, so you get to see all the different, when you do it for the first time, all the different things you have to go continue, continue, click, accept. So what's new in Final Cut Pro? Ignore it. Continue. Then we're in. This is the interface. One of the other segments shows the interface. All we're doing here is actually going ahead and importing film. Here's my adapter. It's a USB connection with an adapter on the end, so there's a fat end and a thin end. The fat end, since this is these high-end Mac laptops, I'm going to connect the adapter on. Now I have a micro port on this end, and I have this that connects in this micro port that's going to connect into the camcorder. I open the camcorder. Camcorder is now open. I take this USB end, the non-adapter end, I slide it in. I'm going to plug it, put it right there, hopefully so that you can see it. Yes, you can. And then on the sides of the computers, as you've already been taught, just like in Photos, just like in Mac OS, I'm going to slide this in. And once it goes in, a signal goes, well, first I have to tell it. It sees, the program sees it, and it says USB connect, USB connect. There's two of them. There's the left side, the right side. We're using the left side. So I'm going to go ahead and click on, select it, USB connect, and now the signal goes off, it goes to the computer, and it's reading the film that's on here. It's saying Final Cut Pro would like to access files on a removable volume. This is the removable volume. It sees it as a hard drive. So I'm going to say OK. Nothing can go wrong, unless it says the Russians. If it says the Russians, then don't let them in. But outside of that, let it in. Now it has access to your actual hard drive, okay, or at least this. Now I'm going to take this and put this down. Did you notice how that just appeared? Final Cut Pro would like to access files in your network. I'm going to say OK. Okay, so now it's coming in with all the different film that's on this camcorder. Okay, if there's a lot of film, it's going to take a while for that film, for this to appear. So you have to be patient. You might be, as long as you saw the window pop up, then you know, and you've already looked on the camcorder and you hit the view button and you saw that there was film on here, or that you had taken. Then when you plug this in, and that window popped up in which it wants to bring in import volumes, then you go ahead and then you know it's there. You just have to be patient for these to pull up. If you have a lot of film on the camcorder, when the computer is looking at this camcorder, it might take a while for it to register and for it to finally appear. It appeared quickly for me. It might take a while for you. You just have to be patient. And if you ask my help, the first thing I'm going to ask is, hey, how long has it been here? Because if we cut it off, then we're right back to zero again. So that's why it's important to be patient. If this window does not appear, and it should, if this window does not appear, then you can come up here and go Main Menu, File, Import Media. And that's all this window is. Main Menu, File, Import Media, and it'll go ahead and pop up this window, okay? But it should do it. The moment you plug it in and this thing is open, this camcorder is open, the signal sends across, it should come up on its own. Now, I would like to go ahead and bring this in. If you haven't already made an event, created an event, then you can do it over here on the side. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Create New Event. I'm going to make this up. I'm going to say this is called junk movie. Okay, so junk movie. So it says create new event in, and whoops, right here, junk movie. Junk movie. There, now it's going to put it, and then the other thing I'm looking at down here is, you see where it says import all? It's going to bring it all in. And I sit there and I go, you know, it's interesting, I don't need it all in. All I need is to bring in this picture of the track. So I'm going to select this guy right here. Now the moment I did that, instead of saying import all, it now says import selected. And I want this one right here. Okay, so I'm going to click on this. There's the quad. Okay, and now I hit import selected, and it's going to go ahead and bring it into that event on my computer and take it off of this camcorder. So now I go ahead, I click on it. Now when it brought it in, that was fast. When it brought it in, there's a clock. As a matter of fact, I might even do, there's a clock that'll appear. I'm going to go close. So that told me it appeared. There's a clock. And if I have a lot of, here, I'm going to go File, Import, Media. This time I'll select, how about this, More. And I'll click on this one here. I'll hold the Shift key, and I'll click on there, those ones. And I'm going to say Import Selected. As they come in, there'll be a clock that will be spinning for each one. And there'll be a clock up here on top in which it's the total of all of them. And so you can see as the clocks are turning, it's successfully coming in and how much time is remaining. So I'm going to hit Import Selected. Here's the clock right here, and each one of them has their own clock. Clock, clock, clock. And if I see this overall clock, if I skim up, there, see, now watch, this will be the next clock. See how fast this kid's going to have a clock right there? He went, and now I'm almost through, and it's officially done. That comes up, and it says it's done. Perfect. Now, there's no guarantees it's on. I can tell you, here's the trick. And I'm going to walk through, because how many students of mine go ahead and they say, oh, they think it's all been imported. They're not being patient. They disconnect their camcorder. They turn it off. They disconnect the cable. They go ahead. They come in the next day to class, and they're totally upset because when they log in, either there's nothing here or it's all red. There's no film. It's just red spaces. And so what happens is they didn't give it enough time. They weren't watching the clocks, and they didn't give it enough time to import. So here's the trick, and I'm going to ask you, what's the trick? And you're going to say, the way to find out if it actually imported is you go Final Cut Pro, quit Final Cut Pro. You make sure that the camcorder and cable are disconnected from the computer. Then you turn it back on again. When you turn it back on, if the film is there, you know it must have went in. It's a success. Now you can go start editing, okay? If not, you weren't patient enough. And if you delete it off here, you're going to have to go film again. Or if it is still on here, then you just have to import it, but you got to be patient. That's it. So now you're on to, we're going to teach you how to edit these films. I hope this